Welcome back to The Void. This is my third video 5 which covers geometry and art and where that connection lies. In this video I will speed build pace in what I believe is to be one of the most geometric games out there, Minecraft. Well, almost everything in Minecraft is based on a cube, and because of this, anything you build using those cube-shaped blocks will have an ornate geometry. However, that's not all I'm doing today. I will also utilize a golden rectangle and Sknomen. Moreover, I plan to use a pair of right triangles to fit the roof of the build. Here you can see I'm kind of fumbling a bit. In order to create a golden rectangle, you need to make an arc, or in other words, a part of a circle. Since Minecraft is kind of like built of cube-shaped blocks, it's really hard for me to draw an arc, so I just kind of approximated as best as I could. Just on all you newer fans, if I have any fans, are aware this is on the ERSMP server. I am one of the lead, well, I'm not one of the lead builders, but I'm one of the builders on the server, and it's a lore heavy, RP heavy server. None of us that are doing lore heavy stuff are on right now. A lot of people are taking hiatuses, so it's been a slow month, better half of the year for most of us that are still on the server. I started streaming on here a few streams ago. I think my character arc is wrapping up nicely. I don't know, I think that the server is starting to slow down, so that's why I decided to build on here for this project. Not a lot of people are watching me, not a lot of people are gonna be questioning what I'm doing. If they do, I could just tell them I'm doing something for school. And they'll respond to that really nicely. We're a generally nice gang over here on here. You can even see one of those character lore heavy builds in the distance towards the upper left of your screen right now. It's one of those builds that we worked a lot on. I was in charge of terraforming most of it, so, and granted it was large enough to cover, let's say, 4 in-game maps, and each map is around 128 and I think 16 chunks. Yeah, it's 128 pixels wide if you're doing map art and 16 chunks wide. So that's quite a large build. I had to bust out a lot of grass blocks for that. Granted, I was in creative mode, so I didn't actually have to collect them myself. You can see that sometimes I bring out arrows in my hotbar, my hands, and I start clicking on things. That's because I have world edit on the server, and I'm operator here, so I can just use it however I like, though within restrictions, considering I'm not the owner of the server. There are other people on the server who are builders. I'm not the lead builder. There's a whole lot of there's an hierarchy of power in the server, and I'm clearly not at the top, so I have to respond to people, just make sure nothing's bad's going on. However, because of the recent lull in activity, I can get away with more things than I usually should. If it were all up to me, I probably would have turned daylights the daylight cycle off here. It was kind of annoying having to go type in /sleep every time the night came. Yeah, and then all the mobs start spawning because of nighttime. It was funny whacking some of the. You can see later on, I start whacking some of the spiders that survived off my build because they climbed up the walls into the build, and they started walking in front of me as I'm placing the blocks. It was annoying, but if it were all to me, I probably would have turned mob spawning off as well. But it wasn't, so what can you do? Here I'm using different colored wools to outline each part of the golden rectangle as I'm constructing it. You can tell I really had trouble when I was making the arc. I removed it later because it was kind of obstructing the viewer. Like, at least from my point of view. And I'm really not sure what those pillagers are doing over there. I think they spawned in when I was in survival mode getting over here, so they still think I'm here, they just can't tell that I'm here. This is my first time using the replay mod. As you can tell, I haven't loaded Ops Fabric in here yet. Apparently, the replay mod requires you to use the Fabric launcher, not the Forge launcher. So, it's kind of weird in that you have to use a different type of sort of. Okay, so as a Java user that started using Forge ever since I was like starting with Minecraft, which is not long ago, I used Forge. Forge was my go-to thing because the Twitch launcher was really readily available for us. But then it stopped because they sold it to Overwolf, and I was like, oh god, now I just download another thing just to use Forge. So I decided to get Fabric instead, and now I'm using this thing called the replay mod, which is what I'm using now to render and record and move around the camera and all that in Minecraft. It's really cool, but none of the connected textures are on. I had to get another texture pack. I'm actually using vanilla tweaks here. Once you see later on in the garden area, you can see that there's little leafy bits that stick out. There's little leaves in the road, and you can see that there's leaves sticking out of the leaf blocks, which adds a sense of depth to it. I just figured that was cool because leaf blocks in this game are really, really boxy. It's kind of weird to look at sometimes. Oh, and here you finally see me using the plugin World Edit for the first time, obviously. Here I'm just trying to figure out a good selection of blocks, and then in World Edit you can create walls that have randomly generated percentage of certain blocks. Here I used around 35% clay, saving mushroom blocks, and enough to add up to 100 of mushroom blocks, clay, diorite, and polished diorite. They're all relatively similarly colored blocks, so that it makes a nicely patterned, randomly generated, so it's not too patternly. Once you have a lot of patterns in Minecraft, it stops reading as a wall and more like, oh, hey, it stops reading as natural and starts reading off like Superman made and artificial, and I don't like that a lot in Minecraft. Despite the fact that this is very blocky, I want to have a sense of naturalism and a touch of the hand of a human, but not too much, because or also look like here's a block, here's another block, you know? There we go. Now I finally discovered a good combination of blocks to use and the correct percentages. I really ought to have pinned that somewhere in Discord because otherwise I'll forget it and I'll eventually have to find it again. Here you can see that I kind of mastered the art of finding locations and setting them with my cell wand and putting them in using the command. I ended up deciding to use the larger Gnomon area as a garden. Figured it'd be best to have the smaller house and a larger garden area. They really should add vertical slabs into the game. I've been using walls as kind of the same thing, but it's not the same. It's really not the same. I'm fumbling a little bit here because I couldn't decide what to do with the decoration of the garden. So I was making a path to the front door. And then now you can start to see that I'm using string lights as the lighting in the path, but you can see that there's little bits of leaves that stick out and tuft into the beyond of where the block should be. I just figured that's nice. Vanilla Tweaks is pretty good as a project. I know the Exuma Void, the admin of Hermitcraft and one of the, dare I say, better Minecraft YouTubers out there. He's the one that made Vanilla Tweaks event in the first place, but then got picked up by other people eventually. Here I'm deciding how to make a tree. I ended up using a palm tree design. It really doesn't fit this area really well, but I didn't know what other tree to make. I was inspired by the ones in Hermitcraft. Hermitcraft's Aquawo town, yeah. Actually, that's a lie. That's the one in Carlta City. Yeah, definitely. It's a combination of both, I think. Yeah. I hate this angle because it just shucks my face whenever. Not my face, but once you start seeing that I'm decorating interior, you can't see what I'm doing, and it just looks like I disappeared. But believe me, I did not. The most important part of building or art in general is to take a huge step back and looking at it from far away, see it from a distance, and get an idea of what you need to improve from there. You can see multiple times I start doing that. Backing up really far out of the range of the camera, really. And stepping back and taking a good look and seeing where I can improve. In the future, I probably should have terraformed the area a little better, but I already terraformed the huge area in the Recalled City, so that was a lot for me in the first place, and I didn't want to do that again. Here's a tip for people working with campfires. For the first time, starting from the beginning, I used splash water potions to turn off campfires to put them out. But now I realize that you can just flatten them with a shovel and then they'll go out. You don't have to waste your gunpowder, water, and glass and bottles. It was a realization that hit me like a truck. I wasted so much. I mean, I have a mob farm in a server, so it's not too much out of me. But grinding up all those emeralds to trade into glass, to then make into bottles, to then make into splash potions of water, it took a lot. I really like building 2 thick wide walls, but unfortunately I built this on such a small scale that I couldn't feasibly fit one. So it's not my typical style building, but it's an approximation of that. As I genuinely cannot fit 2 wide walls in this area, because if I did, then the interior would be incredibly cramped. Even more so than my base in the server. My base in the server is actually just 3x3 wide, and it's not very comfortable, but it works. It's still very homely though. Like, I have a fireplace, a bed, a little desk, an anvil for smithing, furnace, all the necessities, and even more, and then some. Should we do a world tour of this place, this server sometime? Maybe after the finale, during the non-BTS BTS standing for behind the scenes. After all that is over, maybe I should do one of those world tours that everyone really likes. It's not a typical thing to do, but what can I say? Nothing's typical on this channel. As you can see, the tree and the angle really makes it so that you can't see me when I'm behind it. It's unfortunate, but I can't spend another half a day rendering another video. It's 1,000-something frames? A few thousand frames? I don't know, last time I checked last time I didn't really check. I just waited, ate dinner, came back, it was still rendering. Here you can see I'm using right triangles, 2 of them in fact, right next to each other to create an isosceles triangle in the roof. I'll be sure to show maybe some screenshots of it later. Has to be sure that you guys can see the rectangle. Not rectangle, triangle in the roof, because it's not really it's pretty hard to see right now given the angle of the view. Sometimes I wish that I rendered this video on a faster speed, but what can I do? I already rendered it. It's a 30-minute long video each time. I gotta sit through it. If I were to redo this build, I probably would have made the walls around the garden look a little nicer. But I already tore it down after I finished building it because I didn't want anyone to accidentally stumble upon it thinking it's a character lore-based build. And well, be like, whoa, why the hell is there a smaller version of the Recalled City outside the Recalled City? And they're gonna be really confused, and I have to explain that I did it for class, and they're gonna be, what, why? You could have done it on your own server, and I'm like, bro, my computer isn't strong enough to handle hosting 2 servers at the same time. It's really bad already having to stream, host, and play. It's not the best computer, but it's still not the worst computer. It's somewhere in the middle. It's strong enough to do that, but not that much, you know? They really do just disappear into the house whenever I go behind the walls. I wish that it was easier to show off interior decorating skills, but oh well. As you can see, I'm not the best shape artist. Like, all the shapes in here are very, very simple. They're based on geometry and how people think that, how the ancient thinkers used to think that things were, that makes the most aesthetically pleasing shape. But I'm more of an organic builder. I like to let things. I'm more of a gardener than I am an architect in this sort of way, you know, like how writers describe themselves. I like letting my chips fall where they lie. Lie where they fall. And I guess my skills as a builder are more aligned towards interior decorating. That's why I go for micro builds, like my base. It's a tower that's 1 by 1 wide and a little bigger at the top. But I put a lot of soul into that. At least I like to say so. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I put a lot of heart into it. Like, there's little pockets of you can see where that kind of shines, like in the log chopping area. It tells a story. It tells a story. It says that the person here needed wood, and they took a lot of it home. And once they stopped, they kind of gave up chopping all of it and left the axe stuck in the wood on a chopping block. Here I'm making a chimney because all houses need a good chimney. Once again, I'm asking for people to sleep faster. Sometimes the server lags out and doesn't let me sleep for a long while, and then 2 people end up sleeping. It's weird. My computer doesn't have the best RAM, so I'm stuck not giving my best to the server when I really should. But not to say that I can't, but there are things that I need to do that are RAM heavy, such as photoshopping, recording, streaming, you know, all the big things that one does on YouTube. Yeah, you can see that I'm almost done here. I'm just building up the interior at this point. I think I added a fireplace. I ended up adding like a little dining area. I ended up adding a little curing area for meats, and this is top store, make storage easier. There isn't a lot of room for storage. There's no basement. All the seats in this build you can actually sit in. They have a minecart stuck in them, so you can sit down, pretend you're eating at a table, because you can't really do that in Minecraft unless you run around and get your hunger down before you do that. There's also a bunk bed in the smaller not Gnomon, the smaller rectangle to the side of the square. There's a stained glass window to let light in. This is a writing desk. Also has some bookshelves and empty bookshelves made using looms. The side of looms look like empty bookshelves, so I decided to use that little tip there. I feel like this build came up pretty well. It's just that there are certain things that I would have done better the next time around. Hopefully there isn't the next time around, because I already am pretty tuckered out from building this and from building the giant recall city. Well, a good, not to say majority, but a good, a good portion of the recall city was my work. So I was really tired, but ended up terraforming that entire place. I had to tell myself, yes, Minecraft is funny, Minecraft is good, Minecraft is fun. Every single time I placed on a block, and it was ended up being a mantra for me. I had to convince myself that Minecraft was fun. I still think it's fun. It's just that sometimes when you gotta do menial tasks like placing down dirt blocks for the next who knows how long. I was unsure at that point. I didn't really keep track of my rate of placing blocks at that time, so it wasn't something on my mind, you know. I think I'm finally done at this point. Like, you can barely see me moving in the window now, so I think I'm just taking a good look at the at it from afar, like all artists do. I think this looks pretty good. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. There's 2 more episodes in this series, and I'm scared for what they're gonna be. My professor hasn't given me details on what the next ones are gonna be yet, so watch out for that.